Hello and welcome back to Techno Garage Services YouTube channel. Today we're going to actually installing the Bosch ESI Technical Information System and Diagnosis System. We're going to work on the basis that you've already watched our previous video. If you haven't already, then take a look at our channel and you'll see the video there. That you have then already downloaded the Diagnostic Download Manager, and you have gone into that and you have downloaded all the files that you need to download, which will probably be sort of 35-40 gigabytes of data probably to be able to install. Once it is all downloaded, you'll get the screen that you can see up on our screen here, and that will be the option now to either install later or install now. So we're going to choose the install now. It's going to warn you that the installer is now going to install the software. If you click on yes, it will now work on the basis that it is ready to install. So you'll have this screen come up, which is welcome to the ESI2 setup wizard. You need to make a few selections here now. So we're going to select our country, and you'll actually find that we are way down here, being United Kingdom. That's it. We're going to obviously stick with English unless your language happens to be different, of course. Click on next, and you'll get another screen come up that is asking you to choose where you want the files to be installed. So we'll select that like so. I'm doing this on a second screen at the moment, so you'll find that will actually come up on your main screen. And it gives you the option here actually to install the software to a different drive if you so wish. So if you've got a kind of a Chromebook or something like that, where you've only got a relatively small main disk, but you've got a large SD card or something like that on the machine, then you can in fact make this the D drive, E drive, whatever it happens to be, and it will install there. There will always be a small amount of the Bosch software go to the main C drive, but if you do want to load it onto a different drive, you can do when you select it at this point. By clicking browse, you can choose where you're going to install it. Click on next, and you'll get the choice of an installation without an I key or an installation with an I key. Now if you have subscribed, then you will find that you've got the I key written at the top of your invoice come delivery note that you were sent when you were first subscribed. In which case you just enter that I key in there, and it will automatically choose what items are going to be installed. In this case, we're going to do installation without an I key, and we click on next, and we now get presented with a whole list of different sections of the software that we can install. Now everybody's going to need the SD bit here, the control unit diagnosis. Most people are going to already be subscribed to the troubleshooting instructions, and if you've paid the extra subscription for the technical service bulletins, the maintenance and circuit diagrams section, then you need to tick those as well, and it's showing you how much of the disk is required here. In addition to that, it needs to install the ESI2 2.0B disk, the basic program, which includes the sort of basic wraparound program and some other sections as well. So you just need to make sure that those are ticked as well. To be honest with you, if you don't actually need to have all of these down here ticked, you just need to have the A and B section just here ticked to make the system fully work. If you fail to have the B section and the A section here, you won't have the ability to look up parts and so on. So it is actually quite important to have that listed as well. Once you have chosen what you want to install, you click next, and it just does a confirmation of where you're going to be installing everything and what you're going to install. If you now click install, it will sit there for quite some time, to be honest with you, and it will install all the software for you. So what we'll do is we'll leave that extracting all the files and installing, and then once it has finished installing, we can then go to the software again, and we'll show you how to make sure that you've got your license installed on the machine so that you can then actually use it. And we'll also show you how to pair your KTS module to your laptop or PC so that you can then use it. So here we can see now that the installation has finished, and it's giving us the option here to start ESI2 straight from the finished tab here. So if I click finish, it will now open Bosch ESI2. So we'll just wait for that to open. It's opening on the other screen at the moment, but I'll drag it across as soon as it has opened. May take a few seconds to open because it is a big file these days, the Bosch ESI2. So depending on the speed of your particular machine, it may take a few moments to open. So the first thing that happens when the software is opened is that you get your license agreement. Obviously, if you click on I do not accept the agreement, it's going to end up exiting, and you're not going to be able to use the Bosch software. So you need to accept the agreement and click next. And then the next thing you need to agree to, or not as the case may be, is to whether you would agree to submit additional information to Bosch. Now, this additional information is particularly to do with things like VIN numbers and so on, so that they can actually keep an eye on what is being checked and what vehicles are actually being examined through your workshops and so on. So it's up to you whether you agree to this or not. So you just select agree or not, and then the next thing it will say is that you haven't got an ESI2 license at the moment. In other words, you haven't actually enabled the licensing system. So at this point you need to go to licensing, and it will open up the licensing tab. So at this point you need to enter your customer number and password. So I'm just going to do that. So I've entered my customer number and password, so I click continue, and it now warns me that we are establishing a link with the Bosch server. And what it will show me in this section here is the available contracts. So I click on one of those contracts, click on generate, and it will now generate a release code or a license code for me. Once it has done that, it confirms a contract ID and so on, and then you click execute, and that will now license the software for you. Again, it takes a few seconds just to write all the detail, and then it will actually say that the license was successfully activated and the application is now restarted. If you click OK, then it will restart Bosch ESI, so you'll have the Bosch ESI logo coming up, and then in a few moments time we will have the full version licensed of ESI2. At this point it will say that there is no active communication module specified, and you can click on start configuration, and it will allow you to configure the software to be able to work with your hardware. At this point I shall connect up all my KTS module and make it so that we can start configuration. In order to make sure that our KTS570 can be paired with our laptop or PC, we need to have it powered up from the mains or from a vehicle. So we need to have this light here flashing at 1 second intervals. We also need to make sure that we've got the USB cable connected into our computer, like so. And as I say, in this case I've connected this to the mains via the transformer that is supplied with the KTS, or you could, if you wanted to, have the KTS powered from the vehicle, as long as you can get the laptop or PC within USB reach of the KTS570, and you can actually communicate with it via USB. Once we have connected this like this, then we can continue with the setup of the KTS and pair it with our laptop or PC. We've started the ESI2 software for the first time, and it's told us that there's no active communication module specified because of the fact that the KTS hasn't been paired with the laptop yet. So we'll click on start configuration, and this will now allow us to configure the KTS to work with the laptop. So just bring that into the middle there, telling us to make sure that the KTS is supplied with power and that the KTS module has got USB connection as well. So we click continue here, get a few clicky noises from the KTS, and we've got a choice here of using the Bosch USB adapter. We can use the internal Bluetooth connection, or we can configure it to work with USB. Now I'm going to select using USB at this stage and then click complete, and now the Bosch software opens, and up in the corner here it's showing me that I have a USB connection. Now if I want to make this work with Bluetooth as well, then I need to go to the main menu, which we've explored in previous videos. We go to hardware settings, and from hardware settings we go to change configuration. Now we've got the KTS570 sitting here on USB connection. I highlight that and I click on new, and this time I'm going to do a module automatic configuration. It's going to warn me to connect the USB, which it is, but this time I want to click just down here where it says wireless, and then I'm going to accept that, and it will now go and try and connect to the KTS via the Bluetooth link. And if I now disconnect the USB connection, which is it's asking me to do, if I click OK there, it will now test the KTS, and assuming that the KTS is now connected via Bluetooth, it will show me that the connection is good. So once the connection test has completed, it will say down the bottom here connection OK, and it will show you that the KTS570 is on BTB, Bluetooth link in other words, but it's not highlighted at the moment. We need to actually activate that to work with ESI2, and as you can see that's now highlighted. If I click on the USB connection, I can make that so as it's always available for pass-through, and if I have it on the Bluetooth connection, it's always available for ESI2. If I now click OK there, and then click OK to come out of this, we should find in a few moments that it will retest the KTS570. That's just clicked nicely, and then that icon in the top right corner here, the Bluetooth icon, should indicate that the KTS570 has now paired OK and it's ready to communicate with the vehicle. And that's it. Your KTS now is ready to roll. Your software's enabled, you've downloaded, it's got the license applied to it, and you've now paired your KTS with the software, so you're ready to roll. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully see you in some other videos in the future. Thank you.